Hi everyone, delonewolf here, and welcome back to some EVE Online, and welcome to a different wormhole. This is actually J105123, which is a C2 wormhole that actually spawned a connection into our wormhole, and Katsuko discovered it, so we decided to take a look in that wormhole and see if we could do a few sites and maybe up our efficiency a little bit. So Katsuko also joined us in the wormhole, and we are basically trying to introduce him to our way of wormhole living. But yeah, he takes the initiative. He found this wormhole and right away wanted to do the sites that were available here. And so first we did this data site because it should be the safest site of all of them. If someone else wants to find it, normally they still have to scan it. And so then we'll see those probes on this scan and we know that something is up. Yeah, we start out here not bad with 5 cruiser size sleepers to take care of. And I myself am in the prophecy, my brother is in his legion, and Katsuko is in a gnosis, which is probably not as strong as the other ships, but Katsu is actually not a very old player, so he doesn't have the skill points to like really fly a battle cruiser that well. He's working on a heavy assault cruiser at the moment. But I do think that the Gnosis is actually a very good option to introduce someone to wormhole space. It is a battle cruiser, so it gets some buffer. It can use any weapon type that you want. I think Katsu is combining missiles with drones, which is of course a very strong combination for PvE. And it doesn't take a lot of skills to fly a Gnosis. Now the tank on it is not really great, but that's why you fly in a small group. That way you can actually clear the sleepers fast enough so that the new player doesn't get into any trouble. And honestly, the sites so far, even here in the C2, have been a breeze. Of course, we do have to keep a close eye on the D-scan. Yeah, it's been going quite well, and it's been a lot of fun to basically to do some wormhole raiding and go into someone else's wormhole to see if we can make some money there. And yeah, this is a data site, so here again just some mediums. They actually do take a little bit of time. If I would have my Dominics, things would be a lot faster, but there is just no way to bring the Dominics out of the C1 wormhole, so we're doing this with the battle cruisers here at the moment. Actually we are thinking of like getting a few extra battle cruisers in here so that we have more options, and that we can maybe feel a little bit more like risking the ships if we want to, because it is actually still a little bit stressful. In our own wormhole we feel decently confident, you know, we've got the bookmarks, we know what's up, we know what to expect. Going into someone else's wormhole, it's always a little bit more risky, and it does get the blood pumping. The first spawn here is actually a battleship, a sleepless patroller with 2 small sleeper drones. So yeah, my brother, who is actually really good against the small drones, goes for those, while Katsu and myself finish off the awakened patrollers, which is happening right here. And you can also see from the C2 data site quite a lot of these ejected sleeper data libraries. So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them, which is actually not bad for a single data site. I've also done the hacking on them, and they were decently easy. I would say on par with what you encounter in HiSec. These were not very hard to do with the Tech 2 data analyzer, so that went pretty smoothly. In the meantime, we do finish off the rest of the smaller drones before we focus on that sleepless patroller. And there we go, he's all that's left, so we've got the drones on him and a little bit of drone damage. They really look very cool, and it may be the new nebulae, but the sleepers do seem to be a lot more visible than before the graphical updates. It may just be the object factory as well, but you can clearly see now the greenish hue there on the sleeper battleship. That's like actually reminiscent of like some Jove technology, which is supposed to be organic, based a little bit on like insect-like carapace armor. And I do think that you can see it a lot more clearly on the sleepers now, That may just be because of the nebulae or because of the object factory. Either way, they look really cool and they explode in a very nice fashion as well. Now the battleship does switch to me for, it's actually the first damage I'm taking here, I think, and it cuts through my shields pretty quickly, but he's already half armor, and so it's not really going to be a big problem. The missile explosions that he does on me, I do think those are pretty cool, with like the local lightning that sticks around for a little bit. And here I go. I think, well, once we've done this battleship, I'll be able to start the hacking. The mobile tractor unit is also doing its stuff, so that's all looking quite good. We've got 10 drones there, we got some lasers going in, and then missiles from 2 ships, so this is going to break pretty quickly, and it's actually going to be a pretty easy sight then, I guess. So yeah, there we go again. He's still targeting me, but I'm tanking it pretty easily. This is all going quite well. He's webbed as well, so he's not going anywhere. 2 target painters on there, and this is actually a lot of fun to do some of these wormhole sites with a couple of friends. You know, you're efficient. At least you can do something. If someone all of a sudden shows up on this scan, you know, if you're alone, you're really a sitting duck. But with a small group, it's actually okay. And there he explodes, but we were not expecting that. Another 2 battleships spawning in with 2 small ones, so I hectically get rid of the locks on those data banks, and yeah, we decide to start going towards those battleships, but they're pretty far away, you know, 33 and 35 kilometers, so that's out of range for my missile. So I slowly try to turn, and they're still targeting me, and as you can see here, the damage is actually going up, yeah, a decent amount, because my tank is gonna start to have a little bit of trouble holding up against 2 battleships. Luckily, yeah, my brother and Katsu are actually going in there, and we'll start working on those battleships pretty soon. Still, this is a lot of fun. It's obviously a lot harder than a C1 wormhole. So yeah, the escalation from C1 to C2 is actually, I think it's not to be underestimated. I would not want to be caught here alone in a battle cruiser. I do think it may force me out of the site at some point. So there's also pretty heavy neuting, you know, it's also going to be a step up from a C1 wormhole. So I actually think you don't have to underestimate these sites too much. These don't feel that easy, and we personally do prefer to see this as like group content. If there's only one of us online, we usually just take the static, do a little bit of high-tech exploration or some logistics or stuff like that. When there's more of us online, we go into the wormhole and we do a few sites like this, just how we prefer it. It's not like we are great pilots or those super min-maxer that actually want to do all of this completely solo and stuff like that. We prefer to do this in a more relaxed way as a group activity, and that's exactly what we're doing right here. So yeah, that one battleship is going down pretty well. Feels like it's not as strong as the previous battleship, but I was actually very hesitant to activate my macro warp drive, becoming even larger, losing more cap. If they would continue to damage me, they may actually force me out, so I wait for them to actually switch to someone else before I macro warp drive and get in range for some missile fire. But yeah, his armor is gone. There he goes in a nice bluish explosion once again, and all that's left to do is to take care of the final sleepless watchman, and then it's gonna be looting time. We did a few more combat sites in this wormhole as well. It was actually a lot of fun, and I think we got out with like 70 or 80 million or something like that in loot. We were not fully prepared for everything, but I think our combination works quite well. The Gnosis has room for some salvage drones as well, so the Gnosis and myself take care of the looting, and my brother is covered up, so he can actually keep an eye on our exit wormhole in case someone decides to bubble that up or something like that. we actually still have options with the Cover Scout. But yeah, it's going quite well. We are actively doing some wormhole living in there. Yeah, we're all having quite a lot of fun, I think. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video then, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.